Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Julie L. Shout out to Layla. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How about you? Shout out to Eliza. Shout out to Anastasia. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Shout out to Michaela. How's everyone doing? Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to... Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hello, welcome. Shout out to Messy Jessie. Thank you, Amanda, for subscribing. I truly appreciate it. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Pearl Girl. Shout out to Hayden. Hello, everyone. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Jayla. Shout out to Lainey. Shout out to Nolan. Shout out to Hayden. Yes, I can shout you out. Thank you so much for your support. Shout out to Henry. Henry Fain. Shout out to Henry Fain. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Senia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Or Shania? I'm so sorry. Shout out to Antoine. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Reba. Shout out to Romina. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Ember. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Declan. Shout out to Serena. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Lee Marie. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Riley. Hello, everyone. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Shout out to Gemma. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Zane. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Sophie. Shout out to Alyssa. Shout out to Aliyah, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Sharon. Shout out to Amari. Shout out to Brianna. Shout out to Calvin. Shout out to Jubal. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Isabella. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to James. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Presley. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Wilson. Shout out to Elaine. Shout out to Raul. Shout out to Presley. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Presley Padusnak. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to, is it Kanya or Kenya? Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Kanya. Shout out to Eleanor. Shout out to Steak. Whoopsie, I messed up. Shout out to Roshana. Shauna. Shout out to Roshan. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Reagan. Shout out to Miguel. Shout out to Thiago. Shout out to May. Shout out to Aspen. Shout out to Sebastian. Shout out to Samia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Datrin. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Kyla. Shout out to Aurora. Shout out to Dominic. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining. Shout out to Emily. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Ava. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Rataj. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Marchip. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Oh no, I lost the name. Marchip. Let me know if I misspelled it. I'll spell it again. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Harmony. Shout out to Akil. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Ramia. Thank you so much. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Patrick. Shout out to Ari, or Ari. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Dautrin. Shout out to Marley. Shout out to MZ. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Nehemiah. Or Nehemiah. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Chrissy. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Sienna. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Dior. Shout out to Lundy. Shout out to Norma. Shout out to Marsha. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Miri Fan. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Miri Fan. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Lydia. Shout out to Alianne. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Miri Fan. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Miri Fan. Shout out to Cheney. Or Shaney. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Shamir. Shout out to Angela. Shout out to Juana. Shout out to Isabella. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Juliet. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Cecia. Shout out to Vivian. Shout out to Kai. Shout out to Ivan. Shout out to Hector. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Nang. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kaya, sorry. Shout out to Kaya. Shout out to Star. Shout out to Blake. Shout out to Ariana. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Kanya. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Kanya. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Alan. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Leon. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Shout out to Puffin, thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to Maryford. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kimmy. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Rowan. Shout out to Denise. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Presley. Shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Carmen. Shout out to Quincy. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Noelia. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Graciela. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Spider. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Gabriel. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Alani. Thank you everyone for your patience. I know I write slow. Shout out to Alejandro. Shout out to Oliver. Shout out to Katarina. Thank you everyone for taking the time to write your name. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Gianna. Shout out to Cameron. Shout out to Sarai. Shout out to Graciela. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Taylin. Shout out to Colby. Shout out to Melody. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Griselda. Shout out to Ashton. Shout out to Cielo. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Katie. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Jade. Shout out to Yumiko. Shout out to Giles. Shout out to Cassidy. Shout out to Elise. Shout out to Sophie. Happy birthday. Shout out to Millie. Shout out to Abrielle. Shout out to Trisha. Shout out to Frankie. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Kira. Shout out to Caroline. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Pin. Shout out to the Owl House. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Ryder. Shout out to Aurora. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Autumn. Shout out to Callie. Shout out to Georgia. Shout out to Lauren Dean. Thank you so much, Lauren. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Lauren Dean. Thank you for your support. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. I know I don't write the fastest, so I appreciate you taking the time to write your name. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out. I post tutorials like for these greeting cards. Also with Valentine's Day coming up, I also do Valentine card tutorials as well. I hope you can check out my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Please check it out. Like and subscribe if you enjoy these kind of live streams, and also check out my channel for these kind of tutorials. Thank you so much. Shout out to Kathy. Shout out to Dariella. Shout out to Hugo. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Derek. Shout out to Isha, or Aisha. Sorry if I mispronounced her name. Shout out to Sebastian. Shout out to Nayeli. Shout out to Linda. Shout out to Danon. Shout out to Gustavo. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Imogen. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Tristan. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Vanessa. Shout out to Kai. Shout out to Macy. Shout out to Janelle. Shout out to Eliana. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Jalay. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Ceci. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Straight Kids Fan is a Stay. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Stray Kids Fan is a Stay. Thank you so much for your support. Shout out to Mylea or Milea. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sanvi. Shout out to Ulana. Shout out to Zoya. Shout out to Clarabelle. Shout out to German. Shout out to Stella. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Noelia. Or is it Noelia? Noelia. There we go. Shout out to Soraya. Shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Hunter. Shout out to Adrian. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Candice. Shout out to Alberny. Shout out to Amina. Shout out to Edgardo. Shout out to Albert Wesker. Shout out to Raya. Shout out to Zoe Rell. Shout out to Dale. Shout out to Camila. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Patience. Shout out to Sakura. Shout out to Zeta. Shout out to Hope. Shout out to Lucia. Shout out to Mills. Shout out to Estefania. Shout out to Serena. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Maddie. Welcome back. Shout out to Monique. You're welcome, Eliana. Shout out to Jovan. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Jeremiah. Shout out to Jade. Shout out to Lucia. Shout out to Alexandra. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Ruhi. Shout out to Imani. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Cass. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Kate. Shout out to Mike. Oopsie. There we go. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the shout outs. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Pauline. Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Rukaya. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Nora. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Xander. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Bo, Nix. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Stella. Shout out to Cookie. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Tareem. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to King Marks. Shout out to Gavin. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Elian Enriquez. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Elian Enriquez. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Germany. Shout out to Phoenix. Shout out to Aviana. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I do shout outs every day. I hope you can like and subscribe and to support my channel. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to Maddie. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Lindley. Shout out to Parker. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Rubab. Shout out to Noelia. Shout out to Lucy. Shout out to Claudia. Shout out to Lauren Dean. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Lauren Dean. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Zyril. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Polly. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to Kamira. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Surya. Shout out to Rem. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to Rosa. Shout out to Camden. Shout out to Ivana. Shout out to Eliana. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Thomas. Shout out to Phoenix. Shout out to Xavier. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Ruth. Shout out to Donnie. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Nova. Shout out to Noah Del Reef. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Noah Del Reef. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Cielo. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Ariella. Shout out to Decker. Shout out to Malik. Shout out to Hutchings. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Kenji. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Tatum. Shout out to Wesker. Shout out to Celine. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Sua. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Jane. Shout out to Annalise. Shout out to Jadena, or Jadina. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Shane. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Kay. Shout out to Jovina. Shout out to Ackerman. Shout out to Talia. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Landon. Shout out to Lupita. Shout out to Sam. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Kinsley. Shout out to Timmy. Shout out to Beth. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Beth. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Aria. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Hanan. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to Beth. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Beth. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Sutton. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Joy. Shout out to Austin. Shout out to Katniss. Shout out to Beth. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Beth. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Jadine. Or Jaden. Sorry. Shout out to Miriam. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Juliana. Shout out to Susie. Shout out to Liliana. Shout out to Janmit. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Chrissy. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Esther. Shout out to Sharon. Shout out to Brooks. Shout out to Athena's. Shout out to Luna. Shout out to Harlem. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Lydianix. Shout out to Jayliana. Shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Caroline. Shout out to Erilyn. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Janot. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Matthias. Shout out to Leslie. Happy birthday. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. On to the next page. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time as this. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out and support my channel. I would truly appreciate it. I do other content like this, tutorials, especially with Valentine's Day coming up. I do cute greeting cards like this. I also do these birthday ones too. And this one as well. Things like this. I hope you can check out my channel, watch some of the videos, and leave likes. I would truly appreciate it. It means a lot. Your support means a lot to me. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Bushra. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Eliana. Shout out to Dakota. Shout out to Janelle. Shout out to Marley. Shout out to Avea. Shout out to Giovanna. Whoopsie. Shout out to Giovanna. I'm gonna write your name again because I kind of messed up. Shout out to Marcellus Rump. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Marcellus Rump. Shout out to Marcellus. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Rain. Shout out to Julian. Shout out to Muna or Mana. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kinsley. Did I spell it correctly? I don't think I did. Shout out to Yasi. Shout out to Alani. Kinsley, can you write your name again? I think I messed up. Oh, Kinsley, there we go. Thank you. Shout out to Kinsley. Shout out to Hunter. Shout out to Michael. Shout out to Lucy. Shout out to Yvette. Shout out to Tony or Tony. Shout out to Rex. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Rex. Shout out to Desmond. Whoopsie, messed up. Shout out to Dea. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Araceli. Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Shael. Shout out to Chrissy. Shout out to Eileen. Shout out to Edwin. Shout out to Bree. Shout out to Journey. Shout out to Julian. Shout out to Alea, sorry. Thank you for showing me how to pronounce your name. Shout out to Alea. Shout out to Gunner. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Brianna. Shout out to Stefano. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Eden. Shout out to Evelyn. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. Shout out to Primrose. Shout out to Aziza. Shout out to Kamora. Shout out to Belen. Shout out to Aaliyah. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Montserrat. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Jadalyn. Shout out to Bam. Shout out to Brian, thank you. Shout out to Maeve. Shout out to Angel. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Veer. Shout out to McKinley. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Jackie. Shout out to Angeli. Shout out to Nene. Shout out to Carolani. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to Pedrosa. Shout out to Mateo. Shout out to Noelia. Shout out to Raylan. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Alina. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Hugo. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Angela. Shout out to Willow. Shout out to Victor. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Mia. Oh my gosh, that guitar is so cool. Whoa. Shout out to Aaliyah. Thank you so much, Aaliyah. I had never seen that one. That guitar's so cool. Shout out to Aaliyah. Harper. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to, thank you, Aaliyah. Thank you so much for your support. Oh no, I missed who else. Shout out to Charlie. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Andrea Carpenter. Thank you so much for your support. Carpenter. Shout out to Razan. Shout out to Luna. Shout out to Rosa. Shout out to Ruhi. Shout out to Kathy. Shout out to Susie. Shout out to Harley. Shout out to Julietta. Shout out to Madison. Shout out to Sky. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to Riley. Oh, I just did Riley. Shout out to Claire. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live streams. I live stream every day. Around the same time as this. I hope you can subscribe to help my channel out. I would truly appreciate it. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Aaliyah Harper. Shout out to Alma Lopez. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Clayton. Shout out to Munama. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Amira. Shout out to Tandon. Amira, I spelled your name wrong. Shout out to Amira. Shout out to Lucine. Shout out to Taven. Shout out to Anshika. Shout out to Shreya. Shout out to Valerie. Ivan, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Valerie Ivan. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Irma. Shout out to Atticus. Shout out to Macy. Shout out to Eliana. Shout out to Craig. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Craig. Shout out to Aura. Shout out to Andrea. Shout out to Suhani. Shout out to Queen. Shout out to Lucy. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. Shout out to Olive. Shout out to Angelina. Shout out to Laura. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to Cameron. Shout out to Ispa. Shout out to Alpia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Christopher. Shout out to Rain. Shout out to Musna. Shout out to Diago. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to, oh, I'm so sorry, Ipsa. Shout out to Ipsa. Please forgive me. Shout out to Christian. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Shout out to Savannah. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Isabel. Shout out to Kenny. Shout out to London. Shout out to Bryce. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Marjorie. Shout out to Lean. Shout out to Charlene. Shout out to Arvino. Shout out to Daisy. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Julietta. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to April. Shout out to Nevaeh. Shout out to Miriam. Shout out to Elion Enriquez. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Rafael. Shout out to Rebecca. Shout out to Sarai. Shout out to Wendy. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Suhani. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Enrique. Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Rushana. Shout out to Raya. Shout out to Carly. Shout out to Ruben. Shout out to Nor. Shout out to Jenny. Shout out to Bridget. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Lacey. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Ritak. Shout out to Mixie. Shout out to Evan. Shout out to Nooni. Shout out to Safina. Shout out to Just a Random Kid. Thank you for waiting. Shout out to Gary. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Vivian. Shout out to August. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Besam. Shout out to Rain. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Santana. Shout out to Myra. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Ophelia. Shout out to Miata. Shout out to Theptita. Shout out to Ava, Rangel. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Paco. Shout out to Ant Baseball. Shout out to these people. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I live stream every day around the same time as this. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out. I do different types of greeting cards like this. And like this. I do tutorials. I hope you can check it out. I would truly appreciate it. Especially like for holidays and like Valentine's Day coming up. I'm Ness. My channel's right here, NessDIYcorner. I hope you can check it out or share as well if you know others that would want to see my channel as well. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to Sunday. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Ophelia. Shout out to Sailor. Shout out to Alexia. Shout out to Kingsley. Shout out to Abigail. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Dino. Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Cara. Shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Emmy. Shout out to Sage. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Arion. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Rakshita. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to Dominic. Shout out to Araya. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Vivi. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Roberta. Shout out to Kiri. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Lydia. Shout out to Zeta. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Catherine. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Xander. Shout out to Naiva. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Thank you for waiting. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Aidaris. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Charles. Oh my goodness, I spelled it wrong. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Dinar. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Gerardo. Shout out to Kath. Shout out to Athena. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Connie. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Cadence. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Lola. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Eleonora. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Beth. Shout out to Yuyi. Shout out to Brody. Shout out to Joan. Shout out to Evie. Shout out to Bart. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Bob. Shout out to WOGNYK. Shout out to YOGNYK. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Cheyenne. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Jaylene. Shout out to Lala. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Nadia. Shout out to Astro. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Marlena. Shout out to Trang. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Ariel. Shout out to Jail. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Jail Plays. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Arlith. Shout out to Sebastian. Shout out to Danielle. Shout out to Kaden. Shout out to Gloria. Shout out to Cloudy. Shout out to Omar. Shout out to Kinley. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Musna. Shout out to Days. Shout out to Hillary. Shout out to DJ. Shout out to Ivy. Shout out to Elijah. No, what is it? Alicia? Or Elijah? Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Sebi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Ruben. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I live stream every day. Shout out to Kayana. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Connor. Shout out to Griselda. Shout out to Carter. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Yunche. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Emery. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Macy. Shout out to Ruth. Shout out to Anastasia. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Carson. Shout out to Sadie. Shout out to Rebecca. Shout out to TV Man. Shout out to Griselda. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Griselda. Thank you. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Miracle. Shout out to Lennon. Shout out to Mariah. Shout out to Hadia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Cooper. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Blah Blah. Shout out to Sinai. Shout out to Penelope. Shout out to Beck. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Kasim. Shout out to Vinny. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to I missed it. Shout out to Heaven. Shout out to Trinity. Shout out to Ivan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Armand. Shout out to Bubbles. Shout out to Athenas. Shout out to Via. Shout out to Natasha. Shout out to Marilyn. Shout out to Noemi. Shout out to Lydia. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Linda. Shout out to Adasu. Shout out to Autumn. Shout out to Brina. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Miles. Shout out to Savannah. Happy birthday. Shout out to Alyssa. Shout out to Owen. Shout out to Gus. Shout out to Eliana. Shout out to Cassie. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Naya. Shout out to Paola. Shout out to Trayson. Shout out to Adele. Shout out to Brinley. Shout out to Hazel. Shout out to Sin Chen. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Anita. Shout out to Timmy. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Audrey. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Cubs. Shout out to Jenna. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Electra. Shout out to Maggie. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Damel Bates. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Damel Bates. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Mabel. Shout out to Ruby. Shout out to Anjali. Shout out to Adeline. Shout out to Pranav. Shout out to Hope. Shout out to Zamir. Shout out to Alani. Shout out to Sammy. Shout out to Brianna. Shout out to Jaylene. Shout out to Stephanie Smith. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Stephanie Smith. Shout out to Taylani. Shout out to Ivan. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Hugh. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Nomar. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Dom. Shout out to Asher. Shout out to Wendy. Shout out to Zaza. Shout out to Aaliyah. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time as this. I also upload other content. I hope you can check out my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Shout out to Owen. Shout out to Praviti. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Assis. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Ruth. Shout out to Samuel. Shout out to Angelina. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Natasha. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Wyatt. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Avian. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Diamond. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Meg. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Gio. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Noli. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Glisten. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Siren. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Also, thank you everyone for your patience. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Shout out to Carly. Shout out to London. Shout out to Ethan. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Kenzie. Shout out to Killian. Shout out to Gibson. Shout out to Money. Shout out to Araya. Shout out to 11. Shout out to Belle. Shout out to Liliana. Shout out to Connor. Shout out to Himasha. Shout out to Gil. Shout out to Lindsay. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Raisa. Shout out to Lynn. Shout out to Timmy. Shout out to Keely. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Harceline. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Shannon Berg. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Shannon Berg. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Jakari. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Pierce. Shout out to Clara. Shout out to Brody. Shout out to Claire. Shout out to Forrest. Shout out to Nathan. Shout out to Keely. Shout out to Alessandra. Shout out to Omar. Shout out to Camila. Oh, Camelia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Camelia. Shout out to Alina. Alina Toka Boca. Thank you so much for your support. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Danny. Happy birthday. Shout out to Grayson. Shout out to Thomas. Shout out to Eliza. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Lucia. Shout out to Timmy. Shout out to Willow. Shout out to what is it? Thanishka. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Thanishka. Happy birthday. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Natalia. Shout out to Melody. Shout out to Gianna. Shout out to Carmen. Happy birthday. Shout out to Aaliyah. Shout out to Emery. Thank you for subscribing. Excuse me. Shout out to Navaria. Shout out to Jasa. Shout out to Mahara. Shout out to Rhett. Shout out to Landon. Happy birthday. Shout out to Lily. Happy almost birthday. Shout out to Yvonne. Shout out to Bob. Shout out to Kay. Shout out to Akani. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Shael. Shout out to Zarla. Shout out to Angela. Shout out to Kylan. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Jacob. Happy birthday. Shout out to Chanel. Shout out to Tom. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Kamal. Shout out to Elisar. Shout out to Janelle. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time as this, or a little bit earlier. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. I truly appreciate it. And I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Shout out to Roxanne. Shout out to Isabel Olmed. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Isabel Olmed. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Rivaldo. Shout out to Callie. Shout out to Manolo. Shout out to Sonia. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Finn. Shout out to Covey. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Athena's. Oh no, I messed up. Shout out to Hunter. Shout out to Quinn. Shout out to Vanessa. Shout out to Keisha. Shout out to Thomas. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Lillian. Shout out to Abigail. Shout out to Jesus. Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Joy. Shout out to Mariah. Shout out to Ben. Shout out to Ledger. Shout out to these people. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Lizzie. Shout out to River. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Farah. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to Ellen. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Jasper. Shout out to Eli. Shout out to Poppy. Shout out to Keith. Shout out to Editha. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Alondra. Shout out to Brianna. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Coco. Shout out to Madeline. Shout out to Lena. Shout out to Crate Man. Thank you for subscribing. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Hawa. Shout out to Iker. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Leah. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Austin. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Daniela. Shout out to Adeline. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Adeline Ornelas. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Ansley. Shout out to Talia. Shout out to Lainey. Shout out to Zulema. Shout out to Nevaeh. Shout out to David. Shout out to Raiden. Shout out to Emery. Shout out to Melina. Shout out to Penelope. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Trevor. Shout out to Catalina. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to these people. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. Oops. I live stream every day. Shout out to Monica. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Asen. Shout out to Bryn. Shout out to Etha. Shout out to Ezra. Shout out to Lucy. Shout out to JD. Shout out to Pearl. Shout out to Camila. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Shout out to Zariah. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Embry. Shout out to Han. Shout out to Mia, what is it? Oopsie. Mianabelle. Shout out to Ethan. Shout out to Ayana. Shout out to Allison. Shout out to Maddox. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Stella. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Please check out my channel. I post other content like this. I do tutorials. I hope if you're interested, you can subscribe as well for my tutorials or share with other friends or siblings. This is like Valentine's Day cards. I do tutorials. I hope you can check it out, especially with Valentine's Day coming up. I do for friends, Valentine cards for friends or for love. Okay. So if you're interested, check out my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. Thank you everyone for your patience. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Willow. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Nova. Shout out to Larissa. Shout out to Grayson. Shout out to Hunter. Shout out to Luca. Shout out to Annie. Shout out to Oslim. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Raka. Shout out to Arabelle. Shout out to River. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Halima. Shout out to Angelina. Shout out to Luciana. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Caroline. Shout out to Annika. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Josiah or Josiah. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Giselle. Shout out to Brody. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Noreen. Shout out to Manon. Shout out to Araya. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Yanis. Shout out to Lee. Shout out to Adifi. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to Craig. Shout out to Valentino. Shout out to Adeline. Shout out to Savannah. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Savannah. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Gemma. Shout out to Medina. Shout out to Francesca. Shout out to Anaya. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Vivi. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Romina. Shout out to Winter. Shout out to My Melody. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Emiliano. Shout out to George. Shout out to Seth. Shout out to Betty. Shout out to Jadea. Shout out to Lila. Shout out to Hazy. Shout out to Celine. Shout out to Macmillian. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Shael. Shout out to Gianni. Oh wait, I think it's Gianni. There we go. Shout out to Darisha. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Nano. Shout out to Zaina. Shout out to Cole. Shout out to Hasanat. Shout out to Gemma. Shout out to Aurelia. Shout out to Maines. Shout out to Emmy. Shout out to Julio. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Landon. Shout out to Raphael. Shout out to Bartholomew. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Eola. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Hazy. Shout out to Vi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Alira. Shout out to Nyla. Shout out to Kevin. Shout out to Iris. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Pietro. Shout out to Enza. Shout out to Xavier. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Corey. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Zavon. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Lynn. Shout out to Alexander. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to is it Ibrahim? Thank you for your support. Shout out to Karaya. I got you, Karaya. Shout out to Ember. Shout out to Spring. Shout out to Alana. Shout out to Pibble. Shout out to Preston. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Kathy. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Osa. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Loga. Shout out to Gwen. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Millie. Shout out to Azra. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for joining. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my live streams. I do live streams every day around the same time or a little bit earlier. Please check out my channel. I post tutorials like this for birthdays, for holidays. With Valentine's Day coming up, I have little tutorials like this of how to do like a Valentine's Day card, different ideas. I hope you can check it out or share my channel with others that you know that like these arts and crafts type of videos. I have other Valentine cards. Okay, thank you so much again for being here. I truly appreciate it. I will see you all next time. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. Take care, everyone. Bye.